Nigeria has a population of over 200 million people, and yet we have to rely on 4,000 megawatts of electricity. To put it in proper perspective, some cities in some developed countries produce more electricity than the whole of Nigeria. How did we get here? How did a country blessed with sunlight, water, rivers, and what have you, how did a country with so much resources end up with generators and candles? Darkness did not start today. Darkness don't day way back, when we're growing up. Honestly, I don't think we really had issues with Nepa, but along the line we started having issues, light no good day, this no good day. But this thing didn't start today. Because back then I think we had, if I remember very well, we used to hear things like Kanji Dam, Chiro Dam, Jeba Dam. All these dams were made, were built, were constructed to give us electricity, hydroelectricity. But along the line, what happened? It's always the same thing I've always been saying. It's either mismanagement, poor maintenance, and probably corruption. And I think that's the end thing. Corruption don't set in. So along the line, people started doing things and nobody was held accountable for it. So whether we like it or not, we keep going in circles. I keep saying circles. Now look at the state we find ourselves in this country. Okay, we could do a little bit of how this whole thing takes start. Nepa wasn't Nepa. At the start, it was Electricity Corporation of Nigeria. They now merged with Niger Dam. As they merged with Niger Dam, and they turned them to Nepa, National Electric Power Authority. So that is how Nepa came to be. Along the line, they changed from Nepa. They changed them to PHCN, hoping that if the name changed, everything would change, but nothing changed. So the whole thing, kept nosediving, and no waiting to cause them. Not just simple things really happen to every other sector, which is either poor maintenance, corruption, mismanagement, infrastructure, where they just put somewhere where they no use and all that. Sure you get. So whether we like it or not, and I keep saying it, see, if you want to solve a big problem, you take it, stem by stem, you take it bit by bit. I hope and expect that one day, one government or one president will just come and say, okay, this is my own 4 years, first 4 years, so to say, I'm going to stick to electricity and solve electricity problem, which cannot be solved in 4 years, if you understand what I mean. Or say, okay, I'm coming this 4 years, I'm going to tackle corruption. Or this 4 years, I'm going to solve the issues of housing. Or these 4 years, I'm going to solve the issue of electricity. Just pick something, and if only in Nigeria, maybe just give us electricity, just electricity. Every other thing will work. Every other thing will work. Now, the point of this video is not about even the present government. It's about what has been happening in the past. Darkness did not start today. It did not start yesterday. It didn't start 10 years ago, and it didn't start 20 years ago. So all hands has to be on deck. Now, a lot of companies don't come up for this country. A lot. They don't leave us behind. Even some African countries like Rwanda, Mauritius, that they are developing, they don't leave us behind, like 200 years behind. And we still tackle, like, excuse me, what is electricity? That we have to start shouting, crying all the time to government to give electricity. Like I said, this thing is not about the government alone. So many times it has to involve even the citizens. Because now these citizens, they be Nepa staff. Now these citizens, they go cut lights. Now them, excuse me, if they can't thief something for transformer, no be government can't thief more. And excuse me, you can't be someone that doesn't know anything about electricity. Say, go cut wire for transformer. Now this transformer matter, I want to talk about them. Do you know that in most areas that they have transformers today, as let's say like 10 years ago, now the people they see that area and then they buy that transformer. And immediately they buy that transformer, Nepa go talk saying na their own. Now, 16 billion electricity money during the time of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. The Senate, they talk about them that time. I think that was 1997 or so. That was between 1999 and 2007. Baba say he used the money to do within the same way supposed to, which is to increase megawatts to 10,000 megawatts for Nigeria. But what did they happen today? The money just come. Please, where did the money go to? $16 billion as out of today. This is 2026. $16 billion. No be small money. Not to talk of 1999 to 2007. No be small money. So where did that money go? Now Baba saying he built dams that time. At that time they built the Regu power plant, Omotosho power plant, and Oloroshogo power plant. Back then, at that time they built, and Baba said they built all these things. And I don't get any issues with that. But let us check this out. Like I said before, where did $16 billion go? To thin air, within Apple. Now, electricity did not get better. So that kind of money, I know what to go happen. Is that project where they award, they don't execute them? Is that they inflate contract money? And the last one, the main thing we be saying now, the corruption we be creeping, we be say the Baba said we not say he release money, but he no go get returns on that money. And yet they go blame Olusegun Obasanjo. But now him we go still blame based on that. Because they go say allegedly. They don't want to talk true. Still on this matter, in 2013, government decided to say, okay, now let us privatize. And I know say if they privatize something, they manage them better and all that. They privatize Nepa. They change them to PHCN, Power Holding Company of Nigeria, Benin Corporation of Nigeria. At that time, we can't get discos, gencos, and transmission, networks. The discos, and then they distribute. The gencos, and then they generate electricity. While the transmitters, and then they transmit the electricity. But with all this breakdown and saying, okay, let us bring this, let us do this, did anything change? Nothing changed. Nothing changed. And this falls back to the fact that now embezzlement upon embezzlement every time, and nobody is held accountable for this. Now, like I said, they say private companies will manage electricity better. Did it even get better in any way? It never did. In fact, when they privatized the whole thing, no problem can't even start the more. Now the say government, the whole government, as in government, the whole discos have been Genco's money, and now trillions of naira. Now another scandal, they allegedly they say 127 billion as out of this last year to this year, 127 billion. I don't just want to talk because I still try to understand why this man is still the power minister. Why is this man still the minister for power? I know you don't understand. But make I leave that one. But I know another thing will happen. Have you understood that? Make you sit down. Do you know that electricity power supply is going extinct the way Nitel and Water Corporation went to extinct? Now so Nitel they change them to MTEL. So whether it go be nothing happen. Water Corporation. When we grow up, I know say we will open tap like this. They take water there now, but water sure that they carry now. Will they carry? No, say will they carry bucket before you sure say they go bring water, you go fetch water, and water they always did. But now what is the case? Every household they get borehole. People they get borehole for street. They don't sell water because government no fit provide just these basic amenities for us. You can't be buying fuel every day on generator. And go check them out. How much did they do solar? An average solar system installation in your house, average, cost over ₦1 million. Though it will serve you, but it cost over ₦1 million. Now everybody they use solar. Solar they power schools, they power hotels, they power hospitals, and they power offices, they power everything. Now some people are not even living on any grid. Now this takes me to the matter of grid. Every day we hear say grid collapse. In the last 10 years or so, I can't, if not 5 years, that national grid don't collapse more than 10 times. And I keep asking myself, should the national grid na SS? With the fall, they die, they wake, they fall, they die, they wake every day. This grid is supposed to produce an actual megawatt of 13,000. It's supposed to produce 13,000, but what if it distribute now 4,000 megawatts? Because the structure with the on ground no fit carry waiting, you no fit carry the actual production. Because if you try and maybe it could just explode the way you just say transformer they do ta 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 ta. You don't understand. And what did they cause all these things? This low megawatt outage, what did they cause them? Is either gas, they no supply gas, or the gas no reach to supply, distribution constraints or transmission constraints, poor maintenance, pipeline vandalism. So now these 4 things where I don't count, does it fall on the government or it falls on Nepa? That's individuals. So who they blame you and who be scapegoat? Now we don't know anything. Who did the crash? Now we be the scapegoat. This means that a country of over 200 million, they live on a level lower than what is supposed to be getting. How can 200 million rely on 4,000 megawatts of electricity? And this megawatt of electricity now, and the big boys now they give. Yesterday they will say one place na band A, one place na band B, one day na bandana. I would just laugh sometimes. Why can't you just give everybody electricity? What is band A? What is band B? What is band C? All these things na to thief. Make I bust in our bubble small. Nigeria gets over 200 million people. Our megawatt production we would rely on is 4,000 megawatts. 200 million people, 4,000 megawatts. South Africa population about 60 million, and they provide or they produce 40,000 megawatts. United Kingdom population about 67 million, and they produce about 70,000 megawatts. Now do the maths. How can 200 million people rely on 4,000 megawatts of electricity? How is it done? Even if they share one megawatt, how if it go round? Now I keep saying the system, the people, and all that. You get some areas where I know they say they no born Nepa staff to go say want go collect money for electricity. They never born and well for this state where they, and those people they get light. Now who pays for that? Megawatts, 200 million people, 4,000 megawatts. 60 million people, 40,000 megawatts. That's South Africa. Nigeria now 200 million. UK 67 million people, they get 70,000 megawatts. I beg, the same world, the same everything. Now this is the real problem. How can a country rich in resources yet they suffer? Because if I say we dey inside water, yet soap dey enter our eye. We get things we go make us get electricity. We get the resources again. We get gas. We get water rivers for hydroelectricity. We get sunlight for solar and all that, and yet we dey suffer. Rather than stick to say, okay, now water they give us production of, now water now one like the dams and all that, where they give us electricity. Why don't we alternate? Why don't we spread tentacles to other places so that we feel they get light? Sunlight they there, water they there, gas plant they there. So the problem has never been electricity resources. The problem has been leadership, accountability, planning, and all these things are being solved. You keep going in circles. You keep going in circles. And mind you, some people are getting rich off all these things. Of all these things, some people are billionaires, they are millionaires, and they don't want lights to come back to Nigeria. Some people, generator we did import in a year, you reach to serve like 10 countries. I remember back then, I passed my neighbor who would buy maybe now 12K. I passed my neighbor, it's close to like 150 or 180K now. When we know they produce anything, we'll see importantly. So like I said, Nigeria is not poor on electricity resources, because over 60 years of independence, we see the creep to make sure we get electricity. I want to ask one question. When will this end? And when will the light finally stay on? Please leave your comments in the comment section.